Hello everyone, welcome to the January 27th League of Legends DFS slate breakdown. Um, I just want to preface this with saying this might be a little bit more of a rantier episode. I've been a little triggered lately, um, just based off of like some things I've seen on Twitter, and I mean, I don't know. I've just seen a lot of stupid stuff on Twitter lately. I don't know why, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I guess we could start with the recap. I don't think anything particularly exciting happened last night. Let's need to find the slate. These games are flying by. So first series up was the LPL slate. V5 Weibo. You guys kind of knew where I was leaning on this one. I'm a big proponent of V5, not so much of Weibo, especially just the shy and on. I mean, we saw what they can do in game one. 0, 12, and 2 combined score from those two. They just couldn't stop dying. The support set looked absolutely terrible, especially with Phase Rush. I'm not sure what that was about. I feel like if you do that, then you just kind of have to go Aftershock to get a somewhat like semblance of tankiness. But I'll give Weibo some credit. They brought it back in games 2 and 3. This is a weird top lane matchup in game 3, and then we had the Jungle Zed come out. So I respect the Weibo draft of giving the Zed jungle to SOFM. Letting him roll and shine. I thought he's still pretty good. I'm still a proponent of SOFM and Huanfeng. I just wish Sword Hour was here, and then I wish they had like any other top laner. But I mean, it is what it is. We knew this was going to be a close series. It didn't go our way. The 50-50 streak, I guess, had to like run out somewhat. We were running pretty hot, I think, relative I don't remember my exact numbers, but I know for like slight underdog picks and then slight favorite picks, I was like absolutely crushing. Maybe not crushing, but I'm definitely like in the green for both of those. So streak had to come to an end at some point, but it is what it is. A close series, we knew that was going to happen. And then LNG FPX, again, this one kind of went as expected. I mean, these are two also pretty good teams. I don't remember if I said LNG 2-1 or 2-0, but FPX got the job done in game 2. It wasn't particularly close either. I know people are going to want to give Clid like a lot of credit here, but I actually didn't think he like did that much. I thought it was a lot more of just Camille Galio being kind of busted. And then, of course, they just had Jinx and Braum like supporting it. Like Clid's job was pretty easy in this one, but they look decent. I mean, obviously, I don't think they were ever going to be bad, considering they were bad, and then they got a decent jungler. I still would have preferred just letting it ride through with Beishuan. I think, I don't know. It just worries me long term, yoinking your like good prospect jungler and just letting him get taken out of the game just because Clid, I guess, has like more experience or something, I'd imagine. So I don't know. It's just like, if you want Beishuan to succeed, then why aren't you giving him the experience to succeed? I don't know. It's just a little counterintuitive to me. But LNG got the job done in the third game. This was a light show. Light is so good, I think. At first, I saw people mongering for Iwandi instead of Lumao. I liked Lumao a lot, but I'm starting to understand and get to the Iwandi hype train a little bit as well. I feel like if Lumao's just going to play like LPL support number 7 like everyone else, then like you might as well give like Iwandi a chance to see if he can like provide like an extra spark maybe. Maybe that won't happen until they start like losing, but I mean, this one went about as expected. We were on the correct side again of this one, on the LNG side. but we cannot say that for the Chinese or for the Korean games. Heading over to the LCK. Don't know where we are. Here we go. Got our first try. Genji 2-1 Guangdong. I don't think much to talk about there. I think they were minus 800. I mean, they were always just going to be better. Game 1 came down to like one dragon fight where they just got hard stomped by Doran on a flank. And then game 2 was Keen just battling his team. As you could see, he had 3 solo kills, and those were the only kills for the team. It was just... it was a little sad to watch, like, if I'm honest. Like, his team is just letting him down so much. I don't know. Like, if we could have... this is like the dream scenario everyone talks about, but it would make a lot of sense if we could get Keen to Dom 1. It would make a lot of sense. They need a top laner. He needs a team. Like, it just... hopefully happens, but it seems a little unlikely as he's been pretty loyal to the Freaks organization. Again, Genji looking good. I'm liking this team a lot. I'm still going to have hesitations, maybe with like getting the title. I still think people overrate Chovy a little bit, overrate Ruler a little bit, but I think Doran and Pina are just too good, and I mean, it's not like those players are bad by any means. So... yeah, not a lot there. And then the second series, this is one that bit me pretty bad. I honestly don't remember my exact sentiments on the recording yesterday, but as time went on, more towards getting close towards the slate, I kind of talked myself into Fredit pretty heavily. I thought they had proven like a little bit more, and thought they had looked better. I thought they were just like a little bit cleaner of a team. But that was not it at all. They looked so bad. Like, they just tossed game 1 so hard, like over chasing super oddly. And then game 2 was just like tilt almost. Seemed like they just never even had a chance in that one. I'll give DRX some credit. They're pulling it together and looking a little bit better. But I still think, I think they've only beaten like the 2 worst teams in the league. Let's see, DRX, they beat, Guangdong and Bro. I think those are easily bottom 2. I'm not sure. Let's see, DRX are up against Nongshim next. That's obviously just going to be tough for them. But I think maybe because of these 2 wins, DRX might be getting some extra credit against KT and Hanwha. And I still don't think DRX are there. Like, I don't know, it'll be pretty tough to convince to be convinced that DRX are... like there. I don't think they still are. But I just think Fredit and Guangdong are on like another level of bad at the moment. I guess since we're here, we can start our look ahead here. Keep forgetting to open my notepad. But the first series, KT Roaster, Live Sandbox, as you can see on the in the standings, KT 2-2, Hanwha 1-3. We are Live Sandbox 1-3. As you can see, KT has lost to Nongshim, lost to Damwon. So no problems there with losing to those 2 teams, that's for sure. I'm trying to remember, Nongshim beat Damwon. So I mean those are two of the elite teams, 2 of the elite 4. There's Genji T1, Nongshim, Dom1. I think those are 4 above the rest. And I think you have this little mini area. DRX is there now, but I don't think they actually are. I think 5 and 6 is KT Hanwha. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 is... I don't know. You can maybe put Sandbox there in this like mini 5, 6, 7 range. I think if you wanted to have KT Sandbox there, I wouldn't blame you. But I think down at the bottom, it's definitely Fredit, Brion, Guangdong, and then maybe like DRX is in between those 2 tiers. But I guess my point being is that KT have lost to 2 elite teams, and then they've 2-0'd a middling team and then a bottom team. So I actually like this team a good amount. Bring up the rosters again for you guys. The KT is Rascal, Cuz, Arya, Aiming, and Life. I liked Arya from when he came over from DFM in the Japanese league, where he was grinding it out for a few years. And then obviously I think Rascal, Cuz, Aiming Life. I like those players. They're pretty like stock standard LCK players, but I like what they bring. And I think they've looked pretty good as a team. Then we have, on the Live Sandbox side, it's Dove, Croco, Closer. They're swapping ADs between Envy and Ice. So that's concerning. I understood when they were playing Envy and Kale because they both played together in Gen G Challengers team. But like now with Ice getting like a spot start, I don't know, it's a little weird. I just maybe this is like a personal bias thing, but I feel like when teams are swapping out players, it just seems like they've kind of already like admitted defeat. Like they're already like panicking, looking for a solution. I understand wanting to make changes, and like if things aren't going your way, like you'd rather do something than do nothing. But I don't know. It just seems a little early for me. That's all. Like, as you can see, we have a break here between the 30th and the 9th. That's what, like 2.5, 3 weeks? I don't even know. But it's like 2 weeks. I don't know why I exaggerated that, but you know, like I feel like that's a time you could like swap players. Maybe like I don't know. It just feels a little early to be swapping players, especially when you had like one series on the 21st and one on the 23rd. Like, are they just playing with both ADs? I don't know. I wonder if their match history is showing up yet. Yeah, actually they had Ice in both of these. But still, they started with Envy and then now they're with Ice already. I don't know. Like, Envy was, or Ice was with, just in the Sandbox Academy, Sandbox Challengers there. So they're like farm team. And then Envy was on Gen G Challengers. And again, that's important because, Envy and Kale played together. They were together for looks like the whole year. So now they're like splitting up that Gen G bottom lane. I don't know. Maybe they go back to Envy this game, but I'm just not buying it. Like they lost to Kwangdong. That is just embarrassing. I think this is like a decent KT spot. I'll go with KT minus 220, LSB plus 160. That sounds about right. Maybe this is maybe a little too steep. I can maybe go like I'll go like 190. I think this is a little bit more fair, just because like KT, although they've only lost to elite teams, they've only beaten bad teams as well. So there's a little bit of concern there, but I apologize. I actually like KT like a decent amount here. And the next one is, I think, low-key like a banger. Like T1 Nongshim. So T1 have been clean, but they've played nobody. So, again, when I was just talking about these tiers of these low teams, and I said the bottom four were Kwangdong, Fredit Brion, maybe DRX, maybe Live Sandbox. And then if you look at T1 and who they've played, it's Kwangdong, Fredit Brion, DRX, Live Sandbox. Now, T1 have stomped those games. They let up 1 to Fredit Brion. But they still have an 89% map win rate. They're 8-1. I mean, they've won all 4 series. That's all you could ask from them. But still, there's just a little concern there of not playing anyone. And then over on the Nongshim side, I mean, they 2-1 KT, 2-1 Damwon. They got the 2-0 over Sandbox, and then 2-1 Han, or they lost to Hanwha. But I mean, that was like the second day of the league, their first series. So you guys know I don't like to put a ton of stock into those super early games. Feels like they're kind of got it together, especially for that Damwon series. So I don't know. Like, I've just been super impressed with Nongshim. This is probably going to be a hot take. I'd imagine when we get to the betting lines, we're going to see T1 as a favorite. But I'm going to go Nongshim, but it's very slightly favorites here. and then T1 plus like 110 or something. Like I think this is a super close series. I think these teams are both in that upper S tier, or in that S tier of the league. Like I don't doubt the like long-term ability of these teams. I just worry that T1 could maybe have been like coasting a little, and that we just don't know. Like we expect T1 to be clean and beat the lower end teams. So, and we just have no litmus test of who they've played against, and we've seen Nongshim against other good teams. At least they've beaten Damwon, and I don't know what like a Damwon T1 price tag would be right now. I'd imagine it would be T1 favored, but I mean that would be close as well. I just think Nongshim have like shown us a little bit more. T1 have only played lesser teams. Maybe T1 are good. We just don't know yet. I think this will be an interesting test, and I think this is one where you probably just kind of avoid it altogether, no matter what. I think once we get to like looking at DFS aspect of things, this is probably going to be like a slower paced game anyway. So I think this is one you wait and see. You use this as a good litmus test for both of these teams to see where their skill level is. Although I think they're both going to be in that top tier anyway. Heading over to LPL, can bring up rosters for this. We have Top versus OMG, and this is interesting. This is pretty interesting. So, if memory serves, I had Top one tier above OMG. I think I had OMG in the D tier and Top in the C tier. But there was only like a couple teams between them. There was one team between them. I think I had Ultra Prime like sandwiched between those teams. So I think this is close. We can look at like who they're playing and stuff. Man, this is just so depressing when you look at this is the last LPL series until the February 10th. This is bad timing. I know nobody asked or cared, but I have an ankle surgery on February 11th, so this is a bad timing for them to come back. I think it might be a little busy for these days, but we'll cross that when we get there. OMG. They lost to LGD. They lost to EDG. They lost to BLG. They beat IG, Anyone's Legend, and Thunder Talk. So they've beat 3 bad teams. They've lost to a bad team, and they lost to 2 good teams. So it's weird to kind of fathom. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen with lower end LPL teams. Sorry, I was right the first time. And then over on the top side, they've lost to V5. Not too much shame in that, but they, took a game. Not the worst thing. They went to 3 with WE, but 1. So that's a little concerning. I honestly think WE is so bad that dropping 1 game to them is concerning. They 2-1 to Ultra Prime. Again, I think those teams are like similar levels. So that one seems fair. And then RA beat them in the first series. Again, first series of the year. Don't want to put too much stock into that, but it still, can happen nonetheless. So looking at things in the grand scheme, like this is close. Like I think when I did my tier list, I had OMG in like 13th and Top in like 11th or something. So I have them pretty similar ranges. I think Top should be the favorite. Probably not by a lot. I'll go Top minus 165. OMG plus 130. But spoiler alert, I think I'm just going to be leaning the OMG side anyway. I know you guys are going to probably thinking already in your head, like, how can you pick OMG when you just had them lower in the tier list 2 days ago? And again, this is something I want to reiterate as much as possible, is when you're doing predictive things in a predictive nature, like betting or DFS, you're not trying to always just predict who the better team is. I think there actually is like an argument for who is the better team in this series. Like I don't even think I'd call you crazy for saying OMG is the better team. I think there's still just like a little bit more of a like belief in TES, that they have like another gear that they can get, like could possibly get into. But you're trying to play with like variations and percentages and variables. Like you're not always just looking to get exactly like better team should win every time. I think that's a mindset people get stuck into a little bit too hard. And like, yeah, I think TES is better. They probably win this series, I don't know, maybe like 6 out of 10 times. So maybe like a 60%, I think. But I mean, you might as well just take the shot on OMG. And I think when we get to the DFS numbers, like OMG, this series will probably be like a decent one. So I'll go. I'll line it like this, but I'll probably be leaning OMG. But we'll see when we get there. This is an absolute banger, and this is where my rant was going to start. I wish for one BLG series I could not see Uzi's name brought up. I understand people want to talk about the RNG Uzi like revenge narrative, and that he wants to face his old team or whatever. Like, man, I don't care about Uzi. I just don't, man. Like, Doggo has looked so good. Like, I just want people to give Doggo his respect, man. Like, he looked so good in his last series. I don't think anybody's questioning that. Like, he absolutely popped off. He looked crazy in the last series. Granted, it was against iBoy, but I mean, like, can we just go one BLG series without talking about Uzi? Like, it just feels like such a distraction. Like, I don't know. Maybe their plan is to like bring Uzi up to speed, and he will be the eventual starter. We don't know. Like, that's obviously like internal stuff that we just will never probably like know. But like, I don't know. I don't want to like say names and stuff, but when you see like the LPL English casters, like every BLG series is Uzi. It's like, can we talk about the people that are actually playing the game, please? Like, it's just so frustrating. And then on top of that, like there was a tweet from, I don't remember who, but it was like, who would your League of Legends Hall of Fame be? And all I saw was like Faker Uzi. Like, obviously Faker's the best player of all time. There's no questioning that. But like, I just don't understand what Uzi's done also. I don't know. I might end up making a whole video like talking about the Uzi thing. But like, it's so annoying. This series is pretty weird. Getting down to actually talking about the game instead of ranting about Uzi. So we have BLG 2-0 to RA, pretty good. They've 2-0'd or 2-1 to OMG, and they 2-1 to Weibo. So I think they've beaten 3 middling teams. I think RA and Weibo were probably like on the top end of the like middling tier. OMG on the bottom end of like the middling tier. But the point being is they haven't played elite teams, they haven't played trash teams, and they've won all 3 series. And over on the RNG side, they finally got their 2-0 over IG. But as you guys know, I think IG is like bottom 4, bottom 5 team at the moment. And then they 2-1 to Anyone's Legend, bottom 5 team. 2-0 TT, bottom 5 team. 2-1 to JDG, bottom 7 team. I don't know, bottom something team. They're not good. They're in the middling tier as well. I'll give them that. And then they lost to FPX, top tier team. So I don't know how much stock you want to put into them losing to FPX. I've said this like 4 times already in the last like 10 minutes, but it was the first series of the split. Don't want to put too much credit into that. But at the same time, like, it's kind of been their only test and they've lost. Like, I think people are going to still want to give RNG like a lot of passes. I think they're still going to figure things out. I'll probably be saying this for a while until they do look dominant. But I don't think RNG have like necessarily proven that they're like at this top S tier strength yet. I know I had them as like a top 2 team in my power rankings, but that was more so or in my tier list, like that's kind of a predictive thing of like trying to predict where they will end at the end of the split, and they're not quite there. I just don't think so. This is one where if I'm predicting odds, I think RNG is going to be the favorite. If I'm making odds, I think BLG is going to be the favorite. I think BLG is just slightly better. They've proven a little bit more. Again, very close series. I could borderline call this like a coin flip. So I'm pricing it as such. But like I have all these games priced pretty closely. But I'll go like RNG just plus 110 for that sake. We can look League of Legends tomorrow. So let's compare. I have KT minus 190. Yeah, I mean this seems about right. I know I had them higher and then like moved them down. I think that's just a little bit. There's just like a little bit of lacking data, I think. So I just don't want to give them that credit, but I think this is fair. I think KT have definitely looked better. I'm definitely leaning like a KT 2-0. Not sure where we're at for DFS. We'll probably get there in a little bit. T1 minus 220. I mean, I saw that coming. I knew T1 would be the favorite. I'm kind of surprised by how much. Like I know Nongshim have some like marks on their record. We head over to Korea. Look at that. So like they lost to Hanwha, they dropped 1 to KT, but they beat Dom1. Like, are we really saying that T1 is going to be like a minus 250 favorite over Dom1? Because it feels like that's what like the price is. So I don't know. This seems super weird to me. Like I was probably always just going to be on the Nongshim side. So I just don't agree. I don't agree with this price at all. Like I think if we're making like a realistic price, I think this is like pretty coin flippy, and I think like realistically, I think this should be like T1 minus 150. The reason I price it as Nongshim minus 135 is because that's just what I think is like kind of going to happen. Like I feel like Nongshim are just like slightly better. Maybe that's like something words I'll be eating tomorrow, but I don't know. I just don't see that like price at all. Like again, we'll get to the DFS aspect, but I like Nongshim a good bit here. One thing I want to do is start putting like a confidence level on these. I think KT is like a 7, probably confidence, like 8 maybe. Like I feel like they've just shown a lot more. Like in Nongshim over T1, this is gonna be pretty low confidence, but I feel like this is just like pretty mispriced. So I'll leave Nongshim at like a 6 or something. Heading down, top minus 325. Again, that seems pretty egregious. I mean, you guys don't need to hear me rant about like what has Top Esports done, but what has Top Esports done? I mean, I guess you could make the case for OMG. Like, what has OMG done? They've lost to EDG, BLG. They beat Anyone's Legend, IG, TT. So they beat 3 bottom teams. They lost to 2 top teams. I guess they lost to LGD too, so that's a little rough. But again, that's just like playing within variations, playing within like odds of happening. I mean, they beat WE, lost to V5, beat Ultra Prime. Like, how is this? This should just be close. Like, I don't understand this price. So I guess that kind of takes care of itself from the from the DFS aspect. I mean, I'm going OMG like pretty hard here. I think like in that case, like I don't understand this pricing whatsoever. If I'm honest, like these teams are like pretty close to each other in skill. From what I've seen, TES have like borderline no map knowledge. I feel like. I mean, they still have individual talent. There's no doubting that. But I feel like OMG are like similar. Like for what OMG lacks in like individual talent, they make up for in team play. And I don't think the individual talent is even that much of a disparity either. Like hot take, but Cream and Knight have been like around the same level. Like Xiaopeng, I think is a look better than Aki, but like I feel like Zoom versus Shanji is like a wash, maybe like a slight lean to Zoom. Like I don't think there's been that much of a disparity there. I think Abel is better than Jackie Love. Like this might be a molten hot take here. Like I think Abel's been better than Jackie Love this split. Is Jackie Love a better player? Probably in the long term, but has he been better? I don't think so. Zhou versus Cold, I think Cold has been better. So like you say, like where does TES have the lean experience, name recognition? I don't know. I'm not seeing this. I mean, I'm hammering OMG here. Confidence, I don't know, 7, 8 maybe. Like I just don't get this price at all. I'll be on OMG heavily. I'll be on them DFS. I'll have Cream Captain something. Like I feel like this is like a spot where he's gonna look on the map and say, like he wants to prove himself, and beating Knight and solidifying himself as a top LPL mid laner is probably something that I think he's looking forward to, and I am as well. So I'm going OMG. I think TES are still just like insanely like fraudulent, and their name value is just so overvalued. And the fourth series, BLG minus 130, they have minus 120. I mean, so that's like a exact same. Like I think this is a super close, slightest of slight lanes to BLG. So yeah, I mean, this is I think this is a BLG like lane. I think it just is. We just don't know like what RNG is going to show up really. I feel like there's a little bit more consistency with the BLG roster to win 2 of 3. I'll go BLG 2-1. I think this is like I don't know. This is pretty unconfident. I'm gonna go with like a 4 or 5 maybe. Like I don't know. I mean, you're probably gonna want like some side. You might want some side of this in DFS. We'll look at DFS stuff here and like right now. But I don't know. That's a little tough one. So LPL spring, LCK spring. So we have KT Sandbox, T1 Nongshim, and then we have TES OMG. And then the other series was BLG RNG. So look at combined kills per minute. The highest we have over in the LCK slate is 0.71. The lowest we have in the LPL is 0.74. I mean, we kind of knew that, but T1 Nongshim in the top end, KT Sandbox a lower. Let's look for losses. OMG and BLG dying a lot. KT give up some death. Sandbox okay. Yeah, I mean this is tough for LCK games. I think. I don't know. I think when you look at the numbers here, I think you're kind of only playing T1 or KT looking for a sweep, and then you just hope every other series goes 3. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's just like bad strategy necessarily. I feel like if you get a sweep in the LCK, there's still going to be like a few players probably getting there. So I don't mind KT as a secondary stack. We'll look at players here in a second, but that's where I'm going. I'll go OMG as my like heavy stack, and then KT probably is my secondary stack. Although you could make a case for BLG or RNG. I just feel like this is like a 2 top teams. Neither of them are going to want to give much. I don't know. I feel like typically the top teams in the LPL, when they battle each other, it's either like a fiesta because they don't want to give up anything, or they play it like more macro heavy, and that can lead itself to low kill participation games. So it just seems like a little bit of a coin flip. Yeah, we'll look at players, but I think based off of this, I'm going like OMG pretty heavily. Uh, I I'm not gonna X out the BLG side, but I'm not loving it just because I feel like it could go three pretty easily. I like KT for the sweep. I feel like you kind of just want to leave the T1 Nongshim series alone unless you have a strong lean, like with T1 or something. I don't think that this T1 Nongshim game is like priced correctly. So, and I don't think Nongshim are gonna like get there really in like a 2-1. So I'm just gonna X out T1 Nongshim. I like KT as a secondary stack. I think they have a decent chance of getting there as a secondary stack. You know, they don't need to do a lot. I just kind of hope they get the sweep. Then OMG top should be the like bloodiest game. OMG play at a crazy pace, and I like OMG to win. So that's gonna be like my picks there. We'll go to players. Actually, I'll do it this way. That way we can compare cross region. A little life hack there. I said KT, OMG. I'll throw BLG in just to see if anything pops. Search. I like to start search kill share. It's Doggo, Aiming, Able, Cream. Those are the top 4. So you're probably looking at trying to do like a double AD captain. Look at kill participation. So it looks like BLG kind of team fight a lot, or at least around bottom. Way Doggo crisp up there. Fofo and Breathe lower on down. Shanji is the highest kill participation. Man, that's a little crazy. So, that's interesting. So it looks like OMG kind of like group up team fight the most. They have all 5 members above 60%, which is probably that's probably like my cutoff. I'd say to make these numbers a little bit like more understandable. I feel like for kill share, I would say above 25% is like decent. But obviously you're gonna have like ADCs and mid laners like dominate this for the most part. As you can see, Rascal's like sneaking his way up there in kill share, but my cutoff really is like 25. I'm not gonna X out players under 25, but I'd like to get in over 25% kill share players as much as possible. Then for KP or kill participation, I would say 70, like over 70 is like ideal, but the 60s are okay. Under 60 is a little rough because then you just need so many kills. Like if you have a team that gets 20 kills, that's a good game. But if they have a player with 50% kill participation, that means he's only a part of 10. Then you're not even looking at like bonuses there. Like you're not looking at a 10 assist bonus or anything. Like you just need higher kill participation. So when I'm looking at this for how I'm thinking of constructing, we have Cuz up there, crazy kill participation. Then we have Aiming in life, Arya and Rascal down at the bottom, Fofo and Breathe down there as well. So that's so we know this is the mid and top of both of these teams, and then we know mid and top for OMG is decent, so that we're probably going to start there. Again, we saw Doggo with a crazy kill share. He's not going to be bad if you lean that way, but again, I don't know. You don't necessarily have to. Life is about the same as cold, so it seems like you're going to want to like, or at least what I'm thinking is going four-man stacks with OMG, then mix and match maybe between like these BLG players and the KT roster players. It looks like they both play around the bottom side, just because they're, AD and support and jungle all have high kill participation, while their mid and tops are on the lower end. So you're going to want like mid and top side of OMG, split it around with the bottom side of KT and BLG. And that's going to be my my thought process for the night for DFS at least. Final picks, I'll go KT2O. I think they get the sweep. I don't know how great they'll do in DFS, but I think a sweep bonus is like low-key going to be important tonight. I'll go Nongshim 2-1. I don't mind the money line bet, but DFS it's pretty tough to get there. I'll go OMG 2-0. Like low-key, I think Top can like have a bad first game and then lose the second one pretty easily. So that's going to be a pretty hot take, I'd imagine. I think a lot of people will be on OMG. Like they're a pretty popular team, I think. Like people love Cream and stuff. But I'll go OMG 2-0. Although 2-1 would be fine. And then I'll go BLG 2-1. I think this is just like a low-key banger series between good teams and somebody. It'll go 3 like almost for sure. So that'll be it for me today. Again, very sad last day of LPL. We have no LPL videos. I don't know. I can't imagine myself playing 2-game LCK slates. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a decision here. Let's see. The LCK is off until the 9th. They're off to the 10th. I don't know. If you guys like depend on these videos, let me know, and I can still make videos for these slates. But like for the most part, I don't think I'd personally be playing 2-game LCK slates. There's going to be a lot of big favorites. There's going to be a lot of chalk. Like I said, there was like 4 elite teams, 3 middling teams, and then like maybe 3 or 4 bottom tier teams. So there's going to be a lot of heavy favorites, a lot of chalk. I'm probably just not going to be a part of these slates. Again, if you guys want videos, I could try to do videos for these. Just let me know. But there's a chance that I just like take this small break and then come back, hopefully not sick, on the like 9th or 10th. The 10th it looks like is our first like full slate. I'm sure as you guys could tell, I'm still stuffy and still sick. I've been sick for like 3 weeks now. Don't worry, like it's not a big deal. I don't feel bad necessarily. It just sounds bad. Having like sniffles and stuff, but it is what it is. We'll play it by ear, but I could very well not see you guys until the 10th. Yeah, I mean that's a little unfortunate, but no, actually I will have videos. I forgot. Sorry to like not end this video, but we actually have CS Go starting soon. The 28th, we have Blast Premier starting. This is a high tier tournament. We have some interesting teams. Unfortunately, this might be a little one-sided with teams like MIBR and stuff. But we have good teams. Some interesting like things to watch, like this G2 roster with Alexi B and Monasi. Of course, Navi and stuff. Nip with no device. So I'll probably be making videos about CS. I love that. I think what I'm gonna try to do in the break is make different type of content. So you guys might be seeing some other stuff from that. I think I'm going to try to make a Uzi hater video because I'm tired of people talking Uzi up, and I just don't understand why people are so obsessed with him. But I'll try to make some like CS videos and stuff. So hopefully you guys don't. I can't imagine the next time I see you guys is the 10th, but for League of Legends at least, I think we're probably looking at just like coming back on the 10th and going from there. So again, probably rambled on forever in this one, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you guys got some information from this that is useful, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Don't know when that'll be.